Yes, no, no, polyester.
Hello and welcome to etbfsi.com by the Economic Times. You're watching a special series, Digital Bharat. From east to west, south to north, and in fact from space to earth, the whole planet is changing. And what is changing or driving this particular growth is digital. If you look at the finance, where the payments and the credit has reached to a different level, but finance is not the only area which is actually at the cusp of the innovation, but every sector and segment that you look at today has transformed and transforming to a greater heights with digital proliferation. In this particular episode, which is the first episode of Digital Bharat, we are going to talk to the change makers or the state change makers who are actually making innovation in their state. The idea behind Digital Bharat is to speak to the real change makers, whether the nodal agencies of India or the state secretaries from revenue to chief to or the joint secretaries or the assistant directors of the states to understand what kinds of innovation they're doing in their states and in making India as an inclusive country, and more importantly, building, rebuilding, scaling, rescaling, and strengthening Digital Bharat. In the first episode of this particular Digital Bharat, I have a very important guest, a renowned IAS officer, CJ Venugopal, who's IAS Additional Chief Secretary and Chief Administrator, KBK Chief Resident Commissioner, member and Board of Revenue, Government of Odisha. Mr. Venugopal, glad to have you.
The function. Am I audible?
Yes, I think we can hear. Yes, you're audible, sir. We can hear you.
Thank you very much, Amol, for having invited me for the Digital Bharat series that Economic Times have started. I feel truly honored and humbled by this invitation. And we have been in the service to the nation for several years. So whatever little that experience that we can share, we'll be most happy to share with all of
Sure.
you.
Thank you so much. And let me begin by understanding key bullet points. So as we see, sir, there is an interesting change in the country right now. The prime minister, the finance minister, and the whole cabinet ministers are offering various digital schemes and the policies. That's a different story. But every state is also launching its own digital policy for the benefit of their own citizens and the civilians in the country and the state at large. Whether it's financial schemes or the direct benefit transfers or helping, the people who are under below poverty line, or more importantly, even helping the industries in terms of, the clearances. I would like you to tell us maybe three to four important key aspects that the Odisha government has implemented specifically in a digital format, which are actually taking Odisha as a state to a next level.
Uh, Amol, as you rightly said, digital transformation is something which is happening in the entire country, and Odisha is no exception to that journey. And we are currently in the cusp of an information and communication technology revolution that's taking place in the country. And we as a state is giving utmost importance for adoption of digital technology in various fields, which has a direct impact on the delivery of services to the citizens. We realize that the digital democracy is something which is extremely important, so that the digital divide, which is there, whether you call it by way of access or whether they call it physical distances, geographical distances, this we would like to reduce, and the silos which exist would get dismantled over a period of time, and the data would get democratized, and information flow would be seamless. And with this um, thought in mind, we are creating an robust digital backbone infrastructure for the state, which will provide a seamless delivery of services, which the citizen has a legitimate right on. Now, because of the various infrastructure development programs that we are doing right now, this digital divide is shrinking. We are able to do a seamless, and what the rural people today has the same access to what the urban people has. So that's the power of technology. It is a great force multiplier, and because of this, we are able to provide better services. Now, coming to some specific instances of what we have done, digital public infrastructure is something which we've been emphasizing on. And this enables a free flow of data, and also enables adoption of technology. And because of all this, we'll be able to provide better services to the citizens. Now, having said this, what is the digital infrastructure that we are creating in the state? Some of the major infrastructure that is getting created, and is the highways, the digital highways. Now, we have the optical fiber going up to the panchayats. Now it's going up to the villages. Now, this infrastructure is going to be a game changer in the future. Like you have the national highways, and because of the national highways, the markets have become closer, and people are having better access to their commodities. I think we'll find something similar happening in the digital space too, because of this creation of infrastructure that we have been discussing. Now, this digital highways that we are talking of, once we reach the panchayats, then once we reach the villages, the access to services, access to information, then online payments of various goods and services, everything would become seamless. So the ease of doing business would move on to ease of living, and the ease of living would be something similar to what urban and rural would have. So I think that that's the emphasis that we've been giving on. And today we have infrastructure where the digital highway, which I mentioned to you as optical fiber, that is being extended up to villages, and from villages, then it will move on to different public institutions at the village level, whether it's school, college, police station, post office, whatever it's there. Institutions will have this. At the same time, private institutions, which is there at the village level, also will have access to this. Right now, we have video conferencing facility from the state level up to the panchayat level. Almost about 6,000 odd video conferencing can be done live at one single time, which is a huge infrastructure that has been created. And the message can be sent directly to the citizens from the state capital up to the panchayats. And that's a big infrastructure that has been created. In addition to that, we also have all the major departments and directorates, everything on something called the local area network. And because of this, there's a seamless flow of information. And today we have more of digital files rather than physical files in the offices. And I think we are one of the first states in the country to have digital files. All our file system on we have this OSPAS, which is basically all the file system in the government, connecting all across the state. I think that's a major initiative, the state government, and we've been very successful in that. In addition to the digital infrastructure, since we have the highway, we also need to have the warehouses,
Correct.
which is the data centers. We are creating several data centers in the state. And in addition to that, we are also one of the few states to have our own Government of Orissa cloud. And we are one of the first states to have our own cloud. So that's another feather in the cap of the state. And since the flow of information is going to be bigger and larger as we go by, it needs to be also be seamless and also needs to be faster. So we are constantly upgrading the information and also the technology adoption for this infrastructure. And we have also recognized when we created these major infrastructure, both the highway and the data centers, there's a need for cybersecurity. So we have established an organization called CERTO, and CERTO is basically to monitor all the cybersecurity issues in the state. And we have also established a very successful CSOC, Cybersecurity Operations Center, and that is also constantly monitoring cybersecurity issues, and also protecting the data. Once having created all this infrastructure, which is a basic requirement, then we thought, how do we reach out to the people? How do we provide services to the people? Then we came out with a very innovative platform called Orissa One. Orissa One is a very unique platform where we have almost 400 plus services onboarded onto this platform. It's very flexible. The APIs can get attached to this, and it not only provides information on various activities, it provides information on various schemes, programs of the government, and also it enables a lot of online payments to various government departments and corporations, be it electricity payments, or be it transport department payments, or any payments that are due to the government and its departments. So the Orissa One is another very successful platform, and we are adding more and more services. The idea is to add almost all services of all departments onto that, irrespective of the level of automation of the respective department. This platform enables the citizens to have access to the information about the government and its schemes, and also the various payments that needs to be done. We are trying to institutionalize each of these initiatives, because we need to constantly improve on this, improve on the technology, and as the number of users keep increasing, the need for faster and data is there, then adoption of technology would always be a requirement. So we're trying to institutionalize these things. So we also have a separate SPV that is being formed for Orissa Fiber Net. So we increase on this. So each of these initiatives are institutionalized, and we are trying to make it bigger and better, so that the citizens get better services.
Absolutely. In fact, I like this whole line of ease of living. In fact, we were talking about only ease of doing business, but the ease of living is a very interesting statement that you made. When you spoke about DPI, I remember one interesting line. I had an opportunity to interview Mr. Nandan Nilekani, and he said that the DPI is a key thing, and because of this, we are heading to a formal economy than the informal economy, right? Which was very interesting. So when you spoke about all this, I was just thinking about it. So sir, just tell me one more thing here specifically, adding to what you said. When we are heading towards formalization, when we're adding so many things on the digital platform, whether it's Odisha One or something like that, which are the sectors that are on the top priority for you? Is it health, is it education, or something else? Because I'm sure that we can't do anything in one go. We'll go step by step. So which are those sectors that is there on your top priority now?
I think the state government, as an entity, for us, all sectors are equally important, because improvement in every sector adds to the improvement of the society, adds to the improvement of the nation building that we are talking of. So any incremental step taken in every department adds to the nation building. So having said that, there are initiatives in different departments on different digital transformation adaptation that has been taking place. So let me start with the land digitization. That's one of the basis of administration, basis of governance. And in this land digitization, we have done a lot of work on the land digitization. And in this, most of the land records have been digitized. And today, all our registration can be done online. We have a centralized integrated application, which is web based, and it has a scalability. And because of this, the issues are very transparent, and it has become more efficient. And also the service to all the citizens is almost to ensure uniformity in the various parameters of services that we offer. Now, the online service, e-stamping, payment gateways, and all these have been integrated. And because of this, our revenues to the state has also increased. And in addition to, so it's a win-win where the citizens have got better services. At the same time, state has also benefited by way of better and increased revenue. Now, this hassle-free service has ensured that we have lakhs of registrations happening almost every day, and this happens for all types of deeds, and most of it is online today. And since it is web-based workflow, the entire life cycle is covered in this. And because of this, there's a rapid replication that happens. Now, because of this replication, the scalability is much better.
Right.
And the uniformity of this in all the offices in the state has been ensured, both in way of services as well as in way of the certification, deeds, everything. The market value configuration has been done, which is available on real time. Automated the property valuation is available on the. You can go to our website and have access to all this. And today, the data that we maintain, all the records are digital, compressed, encrypted, and kept in a central repository. And where the status of each deed that is registered in the MESAR office, an SMS goes to the stakeholders to indicate to them what is the status of the their application that has been, or deed that has been registered. So we've also auto generation of date and time for any for if they want any date and time for their registration. This can be done also is there. In addition to this, we have also given, as I said, ease of living. We've also given an online calculator. Somebody wants to buy or sell an asset. So for him, we have indicated what will be the registration and the stamp duty that is to be paid. There's an online calculator. You have to just go feed in your relevant details, what do you want to buy or sell, and it'll give you the relevant details. It's like your income tax calculator that you have. So we have provided this, and for this we have to do a lot of homework in the sense that all the land records have been plot numbers have been identified. Each plot has been given a unique number, and each plot has a unique benchmark value. And because of this automated property valuation is something through this calculator they're able to get. And once they get this, they can make online payments. And
Okay.
to enable them to know what kind of who is their SRO, they can go to the website and then find out where they have to go. There are model deeds available there. We have tried to make it as easy as possible for the common man, and
Right.
way they can download and get all the various services from this.
Absolutely.
So, in addition to since this is a backbone and this is linked to mutation also. So once you have registered, you need to have a mutation done. So you need to have the property which is registered. It has to be reflected in the revenue records where the landowner's name needs to be reflected. So that also we made seamless. From the registration, it goes to the mutation, and then they gets the record of rights, the land title. It's a very unique thing that we have done. Now we are in the process of integrating this with DigiLocker. We're in the process of integrating this with different other platforms, so that there's a seamless flow of information. This is a continuous improvement that we are doing as we speak, because the integration is happening to with the different platforms. And at the same time, the land the concerned citizens can download all these documents, EC, everything from the from our website. In addition to the land records, we also have the health and education initiatives, which is again very, very crucial for us.
mm, mm,
And in the education, we have a lot of these smart classrooms,
mm,
ICT labs, and
mm.
they're all getting interconnected. And more and more information is available online. And we have a platform which is to monitor the entire student's life cycle from the admission onwards till he passes out in a particular year. So we have a platform where the admission of the student takes place, and then all his exams, his performance, then his fees, then his results, everything is, and also different scholarships or whatever that is payable to them. Everything is monitored in that life cycle. That's one of the unique platforms in the state, and it's been
Mm.
working very well and very, very successful, I would say. And
Right.
now we are adding more and more. It's now for higher education. Now we are adding primary school, so it's becoming bigger and better. In addition to the initiatives in the school and the land, we also have a lot of initiatives happening in the health sector. That's a
Right.
very large sector. A lot of digital transformation is taking place. So we have hospital management systems where the patient data is available, and even this various uh, initiatives that is taking place in the health space, whether it is telemedicine or diagnostics. All this is happening in the health sector, and we are now going to different districts and going further down to the block levels and to the tehsil level. We're making it
Right.
bigger and better.
Superb. I think that gives all the summary of what's happening in Odisha. Now, let me ask just quick one or two important questions, and if you could, give me the if you have data points, it's good, or just give me a brief information in terms of what kinds of ultimately, obviously, the digital is the way, and every state is investment. So, what kinds of investments are you making in digital? And more importantly, what kinds of benefits are you getting out of it? I mean, are you, like you said sometime back, that the investments are also helping in revenue. So, is it actually making your revenue a little healthy?
I, I would look at it from two angles.
Hmm.
One, as I said, access to the citizens for getting better services. The delivery of services has definitely improved because of the adoption of technology, be it in any of the sectors that I just mentioned to you. So that is one very, very subjective. But yes, we have a concept of Mosakar, where we get the citizen feedback on the performance of the various schemes that is happening, and that is something which is definitely happening in different departments, I would say. The interventions are there in different sectors, whether be it agriculture, be it in health, or as I said, revenue department. The different departments have implemented, and in each of the departments have their own requirements. But yes, definitely a lot of work is happening in this space. And in this, the digital transformation is being driven by our Honorable Chief Minister's 5T governance model, which is basically about the business process reengineering
Hmm. Hmm.
of various government services. Now, the 5T, which our Honorable Chief Minister has been emphasizing on, is mainly teamwork, technology, transparency, then transformation, and getting the work within the time limits. So this is his governance model 5T, and digital transformation has been very, very helpful in achieving these objectives.
Hmm.
And most of the activities have become faster and better.
Right.
Now, when you ask on the revenue side, has how much impact it has had on the revenue side?
Hmm.
Let me give you two fast examples. One is the registration. So registration and land administration. Digitization of land records have happened. Registration is happening. Our revenue there has increased. We have expanded now to all the offices in the state. We have this digital platform, and the uniformity and the flexibility that is there, and because of it is Aadhaar linked and all the other integration that we have done, the time taken is much faster. The turnaround time is become much better. Because of that, the revenue flows to the state has increased. So also we have since our state is endowed with a lot of minerals, we have a huge mineral wealth in the state, being rich in minerals and mines. The state has designed something called the integrated mines and minerals management system,
mm, mm,
which is basically the entire life cycle. It's a model single window kind of an ICT platform,
mm,
which connects all stakeholders,
mm,
both producers and users of major mines and minerals, all producers and users. So, so they are connected on a common platform. And
mm,
since the system has been introduced, not only has the clearances become faster, the ease of doing business has become better. Various regulatory approvals, permits, as may be required for doing that businesses has improved, and on top of it, the revenue to the state has also improved tremendously. So we have
correct.
had this dual advantage of providing better services to the citizens, and at the same time getting better revenue for the state.
Sure. Now, one important aspect is how are you partnering with maybe banks, the finance companies, and the whole finance sites? Because it helps with the direct benefit transfer. The financial sites with Janadhan Yojana, a lot of banks account have been opened. So just give us some sense in terms of how has been the shift in the DBT, and how are you partnering with the banks and the finance companies?
Yeah, the state is working on the uh, direct benefit transfer. So we are linked to the national DBT also. And along with that, the state DBT is also integrated with our planning division, is also integrated with our integrated finance management system. So that there's a seamless flow of information happening on the DBT side. Now, because of this DBT taking place, definitely there is a lot of transparency that has come up, that all of us have realized this. And the financial inclusion has also taken place over a period of time, where several people who are earlier not part of it now has been onboarded because of the DBT initiatives. The faster flow of information and the single source of truth, which has come over a period of time, because of the sanitized data, we are able to do a lot of deduplication, and is also accurate targeting of the beneficiaries. I think that's a very important outcome of this entire DBT that has been done, and for different schemes, the requirements of the beneficiaries are different. So we need to constantly identify beneficiaries who are accurately targeted, and who are able to get the benefits of that particular scheme. Now, DPT has been very, very useful in this, and we're constantly working on that. Coming to your question of how banks and fintechs and others have been part of this journey, I think because of this, the fintech startups have come up in a big way. I think most of them are trying to uh, solve a particular use case, and there are several use cases that are coming up. And this constant innovation and improvisation as we go by is an indication that a digital public infrastructure is a must, and the usages by different stakeholders is a must. Once all of them are onboarded and they keep using it, the demand for different services, the demand for different problem use cases comes up. And because of the startup culture, which is quite vibrant both in the country as well as in our state, they are able to find solutions, some technological solutions, and these fintechs are able to provide those services. And I think that's a major intervention that is taking place, constant improvising and innovation that is happening, because of which we are able to leverage technology for providing better services to the citizens. Now we have our own, a few schemes, like for example, for the farmers, we have Krushak assistance for livelihood and income augmentation. It's a scheme called Kalya. That's one of the scheme which is meant for the farmers to augment their livelihood. Now, because of the intervention where we have the banks and other fintechs and also the DPT onboarded, we are able to have better targeting of the beneficiaries, and we are able to have a cashless, paperless, as well as faceless access to various benefits of the government. So this has been very, very important, I would say. And slowly, as the digital infrastructure is getting deeper and deeper into the villages, and more usage of mobile phones and internet and other things is being utilized by different segments of the society. I think the usage is getting bigger and bigger. So we are moving from commodities to metallic currency to paper currency to now we are into digital currency. So I think slowly the central bank of digital currencies started an initiative in
Yes.
Bhubaneswar. So they're rolling out something by RBI here in Bhubaneswar. So that's a good
Yes.
initiative that we find. And so also, HDFC Bank has joined hands with RBI to implement this project, and they are onboarding a lot of small merchants on this e-rupee platform. I think these are all, as I said, it's the first time that the digital currency has been launched in Bhubaneswar. I think this will empower the small merchants in the city to digitize their payments through CBDC,
Mm.
and also reduce the cash payment hassles faced by them over a period of time. So
Mm.
obviously, since it's in the initial stage, there will be some challenges, but I'm sure we'll be able to, reach out to more and more more and more small merchants, and add to this platform that we are developing.
Mm. Sure, that looks like a very big plan. And if you have already launched it in Bhubaneswar, the CBDC, which means that you are two steps ahead than many others, because CBDC is quite a new project. Noted your point, sir. Now, let me mix two things together. So, going ahead, how do you want to look at Odisha as a inclusive state, and more importantly, how do you want to go ahead with the whole pushing businesses to adopt digital as well? One specifically on the inclusive digital in Odisha, and pushing businesses to the digital of Odisha.
See, I think in any economy, we need to be self-reliant. So
Right.
Orissa is no exception to that. We have been very strong on the mineral resources. There are a lot of
Hmm.
mineral-based industries which have come up, and more and more value-added industries are coming up. More and more ancillary industries are coming, and because of this uh, base that has been created, where we are growing much higher than the national average, our GDP, we've been able to generate enough interest amongst the investors to come and invest in the state, and a sustained effort over a period of couple of decades. I think we've been able to have consistency in our policy,
Hmm.
and because of this predictability in the policy, more and more investments are coming into the state. Now, to build this self-reliant economy, we need to keep pace with the digital advancements that is taking place, so that we get the benefit of the digital initiatives once they're rolled out.
Right.
Now, as you were wanting to know, what is it that we are doing to enable these investments to come? So, what is it that we are doing for the businesses to participate in our? So, as I said earlier, the integrated mines and minerals management system was one, where the users and producers are all on the same platform. So that's a business platform where all of them are there. So they're all getting used to it, and then the raw material is available, finished product, users, manufacturers, they're all onboarded. So that is something which already is happening in one sector. We also have something called a one-stop investor facilitation, single window approval, where we have a platform and where in that platform we try to provide all applications, online payments, and online approvals for setting up an industry. So that's the industrial facilitation platform, where somebody wants to make an application online, along with all the required documents, along with the all required payments that needs to be made to the government for getting the various regulatory approvals as required as per law. Now, this has enabled the industries to become part of this, and we are able to give a lot of approvals in the space. Now, several industries have come up. They're getting their approvals. They're being part of this digital adoption also. It is taking place. We are now looking at how in the MSMEs can be connected.
Hmm.
MSMEs can be connected to large industries so
Right.
that the business takes place. That's another digital initiative that is in the process, where all the small industries in the state could be mapped, and how they can have access to the large industries. Um, uh, how do they work together? This is something that is
Right.
being worked out. I think
Hmm.
once this happens, it will be a great game changer for the industry. Now, if you come to the agriculture, to the farmers, where we have this paddy procurement system, which is now automated, and all the farmers are mapped, and they're all, unique number has been given, and they're all entitled to getting the minimum support price. So that platform is also ready, and they're already getting benefits on that platform. So this is another initiative with the agriculture, where the farmers are able to be part of the system. So that's another initiative that we have done. So the agriculture value chain, they're there. In the industrial value chain, we're getting the industries. In the mining value chain, we're getting the others. So we're trying to get different users on various platforms, and so that the industry also is able to
Right.
adopt the technology and be part of this digital transformation that we are talking about.
Hmm. Sure, I think that was really meaningful and quite realistic. Now comes to my last but a very important question. Uh, there is always a controversy between a central and a state. Every state has its wants its own pie, but interestingly, every state is also doing on its own a lot, which you already described to us. But how do you see the whole vision of digital specifically from the India itself or the government itself, central government? And how do you see digital Bharat is shaping up as a whole India? If you have any thoughts on that side, because ultimately we should talk about how India is shaping up as a digital nation. So your thoughts on that, sir?
See, I think all of us are on the same page as far as the country needs to develop, the state needs to develop, the citizens have to get their legitimate right, and they have to have better access to the various services that the government offers. So we are all on the same page as far as nation building is concerned. Now, each state has its own speed of adoption based on their own priorities. But as far as our state is concerned, we are very keen to adopt transformative digital technologies
Hmm.
as part of an inclusive arrangement, where more and more people from different segments of the society, be it agriculture, be it industry, or whether it is for health or mm, education, or even if you take registration, land digitization, all these initiatives as we speak is happening. These are happening on a regular basis, and more people are being onboarded. Now, what is the assessment of such transformative initiatives is the key to what step you take the next. This is one important parameter is how does it impact the lives of the common man.
Absolutely.
This transformation initiative that you're doing, how is it helping the common man? If he is better or worse off, and if he is better off, and how do we improve it? And if he is not so better off, what are the learnings from that? And you do away with that, and you give him better systems. And
Yes.
so far, the impact on the human, on the people's lives and the various initiatives, we do a constant evaluation of such transformative services, and
Mm.
we are constantly improving on the various services. I think we are in an exciting phase of digitization in the history of our country,
Mm.
where we are moving from the physical infrastructure to a digital infrastructure, from physical services to digital services. I think that, and we are in the transformative phase where that
Mm.
great transformation is happening as we speak. And since India lives, as you know, when we passed out from Lal Bahadur Shastri Academy when I was a probationer, so our director used to say, "You're not going to different states; you are going to different generations."
Wow.
So that statement I still remember, and it's still relevant even today.
Mm.
India lives in different generations. So the infrastructure that is there in Delhi or Bombay may not be the same in, say, in a rural part of the country.
Mm.
So
Mm.
there are two different generations. So like
Right.
that, we live in different generations. So each area is in a different generation. Now
Right.
the idea of this digital transformation is to get all of them on the same generation. So that's the great transformation that technology can have. And every department, once it gets onto a digital platform and provides such services, leveraging the power of technology, I think we'll be able to utilize, collect data, process the data, analyze it, make it more simplified, and have better services to the citizens. So moving from a physical to a digital, we are in that transition phase called the phygital.
Right.
When in that when we are in that phygital space, obviously, there are different challenges that come up. So there are a lot of people who don't understand. So we have to, moderate our speech so that everybody
Yes.
comes along. So ultimately, we have to move to a knowledge society. And when we move to a knowledge society, we should be an informed public. We should have access to data. We should be able to take decisions based on the information that is available. This will bridge the traditional and digital divides
Right.
that is there across the country. I think as policymakers, as decision makers, as people like you who are having positions of significance, it is to bridge this traditional and digital divide
Mm.
across the country, and where when I said, we live in different generations, we should all go in a manner in such a way that all of us live in the same generation. So that can happen only by having a digital revolution. And this digital revolution is a very exciting journey. Every
Mm.
um,
Mm.
state has to do it, and it has to be citizen-centric service delivery systems, so that the impact on the citizens will be much, much higher, and it will be significant, and they will join the journey. And because of this journey, when more and more people join, you will find a lot of private players also would be encouraged to come on to this.
Mm.
My thought on, as you asked me what the future holds for us. See, India is in a very sweet spot.
Right.
We would be doing the best in the coming decades. Now, the coming decades is for our country. We are going to do the best in the next couple of decades, and we should be future ready with our infrastructure. We should be future ready with our skill sets. We should be future ready with our ecosystem. I think we are moving in that direction. So we need to all put all these things together. One of the largest advantages that we have is the young population, which is very tech savvy. Yeah, and this young population who are tech savvy is going to be will be driving the demand, and they are going to be the future of the country. And their adoption to new and innovative technologies is so fast, and
Right.
that is something which we need to recognize, all of us, and then build around this. And so also we have to get the large rural economy, which is otherwise not part of this digital transformation. We have to
Hmm.
onboard them into this digital economy, because once they are there, the digital transformation would be multifold, because such huge people would come onto this. So we have had the other initiative. We also have this Digital India initiative. All this would add to this transformation that is taking place. And if we get on to different sectors like health, education, and others, I think we would be in the right track. And the various initiatives of the Digital India Act, or you mentioned about the data protection bill and other things that which we are working on a legal framework to enable a good digital ecosystem. I think would be a basis for establishing a very future-ready digital transformative initiatives. And if you are able to make significant investments in skilling, in talent, in
Hmm.
infrastructure, and encouraging innovative solutions, encouraging startups, and having innovative technologies being adopted. So the center of excellence that we have set up here in Odisha, center of excellence for emerging technologies.
Right.
We
Right.
talk of AI, ML, blockchain, so many other things that we are talking of, IoT, and then Industry 4.0. There's so many other initiatives that, so we have a center of emerging technologies, and we call it emerging technologies because, it's constantly emerging. So we have new and new technologies coming in. So how do we adapt them
Hmm.
in our systems, in our ecosystem, in our backbone that we are creating? And this, if you're able to make it part of our digital infrastructure that we are creating, I'm sure India would be the leader in digital transformation of the world, and the world will be following us. And it is our efforts of digital inclusion, whether it is rural or urban, whether it's industry or it's agriculture or various other sectors. If we're able to have digital inclusion, I'm sure India will continue to be ahead of the curve, and will be the top destination. And the other countries would try to replicate and learn from us. We are in that sweet spot, and all of us together, we can make it happen.
Uh, That was very, very meaningful and enlightening, Mr. Venugopal. In fact, it was a great learning to know that we are going to generations and not just states. Yes, it's time for India to grow in multifolds. We are growing significantly. We are heading towards third largest economy of the world from the fifth. All the economic indicators are uh, showcasing a significant growth, and it's great to see states like even Odisha are setting up excellency of center institutions and connecting to the world and trying their best to reach out to a next level and achieve new goals every day. Thank you so much, sir, for being part of this particular series and sharing the meaningful insights on digital Bharat and telling us how the Odisha is actually building digital Bharat in Odisha. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Amal. It's a pleasure talking to all of you. It's been a good learning experience for me too. Thank you very much.